The police officer slammed on his brakes. Right in front of him, a German shepherd was barking and crying in the middle of the road, refusing to move. It wasn't an attack, it was a plea. What the dog was trying to tell him would lead to a rescue no one could believe. The afternoon sun blazed over a quiet country road, its heat shimmering off the dusty ground. Officer Daniels wiped the sweat from his brow as his patrol car rolled slowly down the stretch of farmland. Everything was still until a blur of motion appeared in the distance. A dog.at first. He thought it was just a stray, but as the German shepherd sprinted toward him, Daniels noticed something strange. The dog wasn't attacking or barking wildly. It was desperate. Its eyes were wide, ears pinned back, and it whimpered as it stopped in front of the car, rising on its hind legs like it was pleading. Daniels stepped out cautiously, one hand near his belt. "Hey boy, what's wrong?" he asked softly. The dog barked once, sharp and urgent, then turned and bolted down the dirt path, stopping just long enough to look back, as if begging him to follow. Officer Daniels hesitated for only a moment before his instincts took over. He climbed back into his patrol car and followed the dog down the narrow dirt path, dust swirling in his wake. The shepherd ran ahead with incredible purpose, glancing back every few seconds to make sure Daniels was still coming. They left the main road behind, winding deeper into the woods. Daniels radioed dispatch for backup, explaining that he was following a dog showing signs of distress. Static filled the line, but he pressed on, his pulse quickening. The further they went, the quieter it became. Only the sound of the car engine and the dog's faint barking guided him. Then, through the thick trees, he heard it, a soft, pained whimper carried by the wind. Daniels killed the engine, stepped out, and listened. The dog was barking frantically now, leading him toward something hidden just beyond the clearing. As Officer Daniels pushed through the underbrush, his boots crunching against dry twigs, he finally saw what the dog had been trying to show him. There, at the edge of a shallow ditch, lay another German shepherd, motionless, half buried beneath a tangle of broken branches. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. The female dog was alive, but barely. Her chest rose and fell in shallow, trembling breaths. The male dog whined helplessly, nudging her face with his nose, then looking back at Daniels with pleading eyes. Kneeling beside her, Daniels spoke softly. "It's okay, girl. I'm here to help." He began clearing the debris piece by piece, careful not to hurt her. The male stayed right beside him, as if guarding his mate. When the last branch was removed, Daniels noticed deep scratches along her side and a leg twisted awkwardly. She must have been struck by a fallen tree. Yet through it all, the loyal dog had refused to leave her. His fur was matted, his paws raw, but his devotion never wavered. Daniels swallowed hard. "You've done your part, buddy," he murmured. "Now let me do mine." He reached for his radio. It was time to call for help. Officer Daniels pressed his radio, his voice urgent. "This is Unit 47. I need animal rescue at County Road 16. Possible injury, critical condition." Static hissed back. No response. They were too far from town. He glanced at the female dog again. Her breathing was growing weaker by the second. There was no time to wait. Daniel slipped off his uniform jacket and gently slid it under her body, creating a makeshift stretcher. "Easy now," he whispered, lifting her carefully into his arms. She whimpered, her head resting limply against his chest. The male dog followed every step, barking anxiously as Daniels carried her toward the patrol car. When he opened the back door, the male jumped in without hesitation, curling protectively beside her. Daniels didn't stop him. He hit the siren and sped down the dirt road, tires kicking up dust. "Hang on, girl," he said, glancing in the mirror. The male dog's eyes met his, wide, desperate, full of hope. For the first time in years, Daniels felt something stir deep inside him, a reminder of why he became an officer in the first place. Not just to enforce the law, but to protect life in every form. The patrol car screeched to a halt outside the small-town veterinary clinic. Officer Daniels threw open the door, cradling the injured dog in his arms as he rushed inside. "She's hurt bad. Please, help her," he called out. The vet, Dr. Ramirez, immediately cleared a table. "Put her here," she said, voice calm but urgent. Within seconds, her team surrounded the dog, checking vitals, cleaning wounds, and preparing fluids. The male dog paced outside the glass door, whining, his eyes never leaving his mate. Daniel stood frozen, watching helplessly as the machines beeped and the vet worked frantically. "She's lost a lot of blood," Dr. Ramirez muttered. "We'll do everything we can." Minutes stretched into hours. The male dog refused to eat or sit. He simply stared through the glass, tail low, as if willing her to fight. Daniels placed a hand on his head. "She's strong," he whispered. "You brought her this far. Don't lose faith now." Finally, the vet stepped out, exhaustion on her face. "She's alive," she said softly, "but it's still critical." Daniels exhaled shakily, relief flooding through him. The male dog let out a small whimper, half cry, half prayer, as if he understood every word. Days turned into weeks, and Officer Daniels found himself visiting the clinic every chance he got. The female shepherd, now named Luna, slowly regained her strength. Her loyal mate, Max, never left her side. He lay beside her kennel day and night, eyes half open, always watching, always waiting. Even the vet staff was moved by his devotion. "He hasn't eaten unless she eats first," Dr. Ramirez said one morning, shaking her head in wonder. Daniel smiled faintly. "He's guarding her heart," he replied. When Luna finally stood on her own again, Max wagged his tail furiously, nudging her as if to say, "You did it." Daniels couldn't help but feel a lump in his throat. In all his years on the force, he had seen loyalty, courage, and sacrifice, but never like this. That he knew then that these two dogs didn't just share a bond. They shared a miracle. A month later, the clinic called Officer Daniels with the news he'd been waiting for. Luna had made a full recovery. When he arrived, both dogs ran to greet him, tails wagging wildly, eyes shining with recognition. Max barked joyfully, circling Luna as if celebrating her second chance at life. Daniels crouched down, laughing through the emotion rising in his chest. "You two belong together," he said softly. "And I think you belong with me." That day, he signed the adoption papers and brought them home. He named them Hero and Hope for the courage that saved a life, and the miracle that followed. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Daniels would watch them play in his backyard, free, happy, inseparable. Sometimes he still thought about that day on the country road, when a desperate dog begged for help, and how love itself answered the call. Sometimes, true heroes don't wear badges or uniforms. They walk on four paws, guided only by love and loyalty. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss another incredible, heartwarming story like this one.